Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your Friday evening with the Riverside Township radio players. We're going to start tonight with Sam Spade and the Apple of Eve caper. Now, the Sam Spade series ran from 1946 to 51 and starred Howard Duff as Sam, and for the last 2 seasons, Steve Dunn took over the role. Sam's devoted secretary, Effie, was played by Lorene Tuttle. The show actually played on 3 different networks. It started off on ABC, then went to CBS, and its final 2 years were on NBC. The character of Sam Spade was taken from the famous book, The Maltese Falcon, which was written by writer Dashiell Hammett, and it became a very famous movie, of course, with Humphrey Bogart. Dashiell Hammett was actually a private investigator. He worked for the Pinkerton's National Detective Agency prior to World War I and prior to starting his writing career. His experiences as a private detective really shaped his writing career. And in addition to Sam Spade, he also created the famous crime-solving duo of Nick and Nora Charles. They appeared in The Thin Man, and that became a famous movie. In fact, it was a movie series. There were 5 Thin Man movies in all, and it was also a radio series. And the players have done several episodes from Thin Man. So let's sit back and enjoy as Sam takes on the Apple of Eve caper.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Me, sweetheart.
Sam, how importune. I was just thinking of you.
Me and who else? Both my ears were burning.
No, Sam, no. With regards to our shortage of office supplies.
Don't give it another thought, F. This one's going to be a short report.
Short and sweet, Sam.
Hardly, Angel. In fact, barely.
Well, Sam, if you'd asked me, I could have told you. That girl was merely trying to stir up a tempest in a teapot in her boyfriend's teapot.
Again?
Oh, it was perfectly observant to me, Sam, that she had sour grapes written all over her.
Sour apples, Effie. But you are warm, and that's why I'm so fond of you.
Oh, thank you, Sam. I'm glad I could be of help, though I must confess the apples are over my head.
Well, don't feel bad about it. That's how Newton discovered the law of gravity. Stay where you are, and I'll be right down to dictate my report on the Apple of Eve caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair.
Remember the Romeo of yesteryear? Hair parted down the middle, all plastered down? Man, what a difference today. Today, all a guy has to do to press a gal is to use Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes dandruff. If you're using that old-fashioned hair tonic, or none at all, then for her sake, spruce up today with Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. In bottles or the handy new tube, it's again and again the choice of men who put good grooming first.
And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all, The Adventures of Sam Spade.
Come right in.
Sure, why are you so nervous?
Nothing really. I'm just glad to see you, dear.
Well, I'm glad to see you.
That's all.
Come on out with it. What are you hiding behind your back?
Well, it's a surprise, Sam, so you just run along into your office and I'll be right with you.
Surprise, huh? Let me think. Father's Day? No, surely not.
Oh, no, Sam, no. It's just that we've had a shortage of office supplies. I do hope you'll be able to mince your words.
What's all that junk you got stuck in between the pages of your notebook?
Where? Oh, well, Sam, you see, improvisation is a child of necessity. So, in order to stretch our supplies, I just cut up some old strips of waste paper in case we run out of the genuine.
Well, very ingenious. Shall we, commence?
Yep. Well, just not too many corrections, Sam. Well, I'm afraid this eyebrow pencil might not last.
Well, don't bear down on it. Where was I?
Oh, no place, Sam.
Date,
Oh, I already have that, Sam.
this one goes to... Hey,
What's that?
the calendar. Where is it?
Calendar? Which calendar, Sam?
You know perfectly well which calendar. It's been hanging there on the wall for 3 years. The one from Harold's Club in Reno.
Oh, that old calendar. Oh, it was out of date anyway.
That calendar was timeless.
It was not, Sam. It was vulgar.
That's a lie. I met the girl that posed for it.
Oh, in more modest circumstances, I hope.
Put it back.
Now, Sam, don't.
F. What did you do with that calendar?
Now, you mustn't excite yourself, Sam.
Let me see that notebook.
Here, Sam.
Old waste paper indeed. An art treasure mutilated, and for what? To serve your own base purposes? Just because you were too absent-minded to order a few office supplies.
Oh, but I frequently alluded to our dwindling resources, Sam. But no, you were too proud.
Take these and put them in a safe place. You can put them back together with Scotch tape on your own time.
But we're all out of Scotch tape, Sam.
We got a first aid kit, haven't we?
We used to.
Use the adhesive. Date, June 19th, 1949. I won't soon forget that. To Detective Lieutenant Dundee, Homicide Detail, San Francisco Police. From Samuel Spade, license number 137596. Subject, the Apple of Eve caper. Dear Dundee. The start of it was yesterday when Eve Adams first walked into my office. She was angry, and she was terribly, terribly hurt. In fact, she had a shiner, a swollen jaw, and somebody had bitten her on the arm.
And furthermore, she had the audacity to suggest that there was something shady between I and Mr. Hagen, when it is an item of public information that her and Goss Hagen was washed up practically before they started. And I might just add in passing...
Just a minute, Miss Adams. You say this girl came to your apartment in a jealous rage and attacked you without provocation?
None whatsoever. I never opened my trapdoor except to remind her that it would have been a blessing to the human race if her old man had never met her old lady. And if she thought those 3 layers of pancake on her puss could fool a blind man as to her true age, and seeing as what her mouth was, she should never open it for fear what might come out.
I see. And the girl's name?
Down at the flea bag where she works, she's billed as Dreamer Love. And is she ever a nightmare?
Dreamer Love. That's D-R-E-A-M-A?
It says there, but I do not intend to take this episode lying down on my chin, Mr. Spade. Why, if it had not been for the timely arrival of my concierge, that cheap mare would have brained me with my own gin bottle.
I see. Landlady broke it up. And you say she threatened to return with a gun and blast you if you continued seeing Mr. Hagen?
That is a fact. And she is just cheap enough to try some low trick like that.
And what do you want me to do, Miss Adams?
I want you should pay a formal call on that dame and tell her that if, on the very next occasion of any violence or threats thereof out of her, I'm going to yell, "Cop!" In fact, Mr. Spade, I am placing my life and limbs in your hands. And if you are anything of what you're cracked up to be, you will have no difficulty in giving that creepy crow the bum's rush straight out of my life.
Pardon me, Miss Adams. My secretary seems to be calling me.
know who's in there, and I'm going out of my way.
Mrs. Spade, keep her off.
You should have hired the 4th Marines, dearie.
Now, ladies, please.
Well, then, come on. Oh, stop that. Cut that
I'll
out.
show you who to
You're
get tough with. Quit shoving her. I'll let you have
Hey, stop now, ladies, please. Let's talk this over calmly and sensibly.
it. Okay, you asked for it.
Now, ladies,
Ow.
please.
Sam, wake up. Oh, Sam, speak to me. Sam.
Oh, no, don't hit me again. You can have the jewels.
Oh, Sam, you poor darling.
Huh?
Oh, here, drink some of this.
What is it? It tastes awful.
Water, Sam.
Oh, where'd they go?
Well, they chased each other out down the hall. I thought you'd gone out.
I did. What did she hit me with?
Well, she took a sap out of her purse and she let it fly before I could prevent it. But you were still on your feet when you told me to close the door.
Fine thing. Help me up.
Okay, Sam.
Easy.
Oh, when I think of you lying there unconscious all that time while I went out to lunch.
What?
Oh, if anything had happened to you, I'd never forgive myself.
You call this nothing?
Oh, you poor dear brave boy. Now you just sit down and now there's the ambulance should be here in any minute.
Ambulance? Don't you know these things cost money?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. I lost my head. Oh, but when I saw you lying there on a heap...
Forget it. What's that gadget there on the floor?
Oh, it's lipstick. Oh, it must have dropped out of her purse when she opened it for the sap.
Apple of Eve.
No, it's a gauche color, Sam.
Apple of Eve. Annie's Garage, Harry speaking.
Spade, this is Dream of Love.
Keep your distance. Look, you left your lipstick, but don't bother to come after it. I'll mail it to you.
What kind is it?
Apple of Eve.
Sorry, I never used it.
Good, then I won't give you another thought.
Oh, but you got to. She's dead.
Eve Adams?
Yeah, she jumped into a taxi in front of your building. I went straight after her, but I got caught up in traffic when they turned up Market Street.
That could be anywhere between the Embarcadero and Twin Peaks. Fine alibi. What comes next?
Well, I'm at her apartment now, and she's dead.
Sam!
Hold on. Yeah, Effie?
Well, there's your ambulance right there waiting. What should I do with it?
Well, it's $10 anyway. I'll use it for a taxi. Hello, Miss Love?
Yeah?
Stay there and don't touch a thing. I'll be right over. Dreama hadn't waited if that was really where she called from. Eve Adams was on the bedroom floor in front of the dressing table. There was a broken glass all over the floor, and the place reeked of perfume. The front of her negligee was splashed with red. I looked for a wound, but I didn't find any. Then I looked at her hands. All the nails on her left hand and 2 on the right were the same color as the stain on her clothing. Evidently, she'd been seated at the dressing table putting on nail polish when the murderer entered the room. The back of her head had been creased by the well-known blunt instrument, such as a heavy sap. I felt the bumps on my head and looked at the overturned nail polish bottle on the dressing table. It was called Apple of Eve.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead, socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil too, and mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. Get Wild Root Cream Oil, again and again, the choice of men and women and children too. And now, back to the Apple of Eve caper, tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
The second time around the murder apartment, I noticed something I hadn't caught the first time. Some smears of Apple of Eve nail polish that didn't show very distinctly against the rust-colored carpeting, but left a clear trail across the kitchen linoleum. I opened the back door. I smelled burning cloth. There was an incinerator just outside, and from it I fished a man's shirt partially burned. The initials on the pocket were still intact. So were the red stains under them. The initials were GH, and the stains were, you guessed it, Lieutenant Dear, Apple of Eve.
Yeah?
I'm looking for Miss Dream of Love. She home?
Nah, she isn't.
Thanks, I'll come in and wait.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't just come... Okay, you're in. What do you want with her?
She's in a little trouble.
You a cop?
When do you expect her back?
I don't know. What's this trouble?
She threatened to kill a woman, and now she's dead.
Who?
A girl named Eve Adams.
Why would anyone want to kill Evie?
The way I got it, they were locking horns over a guy named Gorsh Hagen. You know him?
Yeah, and I wish I didn't.
Who is he?
Well, he used to run a gambling ship down at Malibu till the law turned it into a bait barge. Now he calls himself a yachtsman. But if you're going to try to connect up with him and with my sister, it's a bad connection. She hasn't seen him in years.
His idea or hers?
Hers. And mine.
What was the beef, and who are you?
I'm her brother. Eddie's my name. Why would there be any beef between those two? Evie was my sister's best friend, and she was engaged to me.
Then this news must be quite a shock to you. You're taking it like a little soldier.
She was asking for it. I warned her. I begged her to leave town with me, but no, she couldn't sneak off without letting Gorse know the score. I told her he'd kill her before he let her go.
Uh-huh. You live here, Eddie?
Yeah, what of it?
Where do you keep your shoes?
In a closet. Where do you keep yours? Under the bed?
Which closet? In here?
Hey, wait a minute, you.
Keep your hands off of me.
Let me see your warrant, and it better be good, or you're going to be out of here on your head.
Take your hands off me, Eddie.
Let me see that warrant.
All right, I got a warrant, Eddie. Here. Ow! I didn't find what I was looking for, a pair of crepe-soled shoes with traces of Apple of Eve nail polish on them. But in one of his coat pockets, I found a sales slip from a department store cosmetics counter. There were several items, but the one that interested me was one lipstick nail polish set, Apple of Eve. About then I smelled brandy, and the voice behind me said,
"What happened to the kid?"
"Huh? Oh, he asked for my warrant."
Well, when you come to see me, I'll know better.
If your name is Gorge Hagen, I'm headed for your place right now.
What are you looking for?
A pair of shoes with crepe soles.
What do you want with my deck shoes?
I thought maybe they'd match up with this piece of shirt with your initials on it.
Give me that.
Not so fast.
Where'd you get that?
In the incinerator at Eve Adams' apartment.
Well, that don't prove nothing. Lots of people got the same initials. Have you talked to, George Howard?
He's alibied. He's out of town.
That proves it's a frame. I don't know any George Howard.
I thought so.
Okay. Let's cut out the monkey business. Give it to me.
It's evidence.
Give it to me.
All right, I'll give it to you. I did, but he gave it right back to me. I was only losing on points until I tripped over poor old Eddie and lost my balance. That's when he gave me the coup de grace. Oh! I wasn't quite unconscious, but somehow I just didn't feel like getting up. And when the apartment door opened, I opened my good eye just wide enough to see Dream of Love walk in.
Gorse, what are you doing here?
I come to help you, dreamer.
I don't need any help from you, Gorse. I told you that 3 years ago.
You killed Eve Adams. Why?
You're wrong, Gorse. I haven't seen Evie in ages.
Why did you kill her?
All right. I did it.
Yeah. Why?
I was jealous. Seeing the two of you together after all we've been to each other? Go on, laugh at me. I committed murder for over love for me. It's very poignant, isn't it?
I'm very fond of you, dreamer. My poor little dreamer love. I'd give you anything, honey. The shirt from my bag. Here's a piece of it on the counter.
Where did you...
I see you're impressed. Me too. Come on. We'll go someplace where we can be alone and talk things over.
Oh no, Gorse, please. I can explain everything.
You can explain it in the car on the way down to the boat. Come on.
You're hurting me. Ow!
Come on out the door.
Stupid me. I staggered to my feet and stumbled over to the door. I reached it just as Hagen's car pulled away from the curb. By the time I found a taxi, they were at least halfway to wherever they were going. I didn't know whether the boat he had mentioned was tied up at the Embarcadero, anchored in the marina, moored at Sausalito, or becalmed in Oakland. But there was a seafaring man in our town who knew about such things. My port of call was the Seahorse Bar and Grill just off the head of Pier 16, or is it the Foot? Captain Pasalti?
P is silent, son, like in Psalms.
My mistake.
Salty by name and salty by nature. Only one salty thing I can't abide. Saltwater taffy. In my teeth, you know. Here, have a lifesaver.
Well, thank you, sir. You're very generous.
It ain't money-making, but it's straight from the mint.
Quite a joke.
What's up, Sonny? You in the hole again? Catch my drift?
Yeah, what do you know about a yachtsman named Gorsh Hagen?
Nicely put, matey. If there's anything lower than a yachtsman, he's it.
Where does he keep his boat?
Well, now, if it's still afloat, she'll be dragging her hook somewhere off of Sausalito. She's a converted PT, you know. He calls it the Sea Queen. Had her bottom planks ripped out in the Battle of the Coral Sea, and they patched her up with plywood. Now she's got 2 diesels she has and 2 twin screws. 2-to-1 reduction, Gary.
What's the quickest way of getting out to her?
Oh, well, there's not much call for transportation this time of night, you know. That's the Novak fellow, but at the present he's sleeping one off.
Figures.
Might not be worth your while anyway.
Why not?
Well, Hagen stopped by here 20 minutes ago looking for his engineer. Said he was casting off, engineer or no engineer.
Well, what about your boat?
My boat? Well, now, matey, on a plotted course. She'd stand up to any double-ended Monterey dory in her class, without a head sea, that is.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you put her in the bottom race with a quark cell.
How much? How much?
$5 an hour, and that's with you manning the bilge pump.
Okay, let's go.
This Hagen fellow now, you want me to trim his sails?
Sails? On a PT boat?
Not the boat, Sonny, the man. Cut him his jib.
I didn't notice that, but he was wearing crepe-soled shoes.
Okay, I'll tell you about this Hagen, matey. A fellow once tried to board him, a customs officer no less. Well, sir, they picked him up 4 days later in a gill net with a fish gaff shoved clean through his neck. Hey, here you are. Have another lifesaver. You may need it.
After he had lashed me to my station at the bilge pump, Captain Salty got his double-engine Monterey dory on a plotted course to Sausalito. He hoped, and we plunged recklessly into the fog. As nearly as I could catch his drift, there was a 50-50 chance that A, Hagen had found his engineer and would be halfway to the Farallon Islands before we could make it past Alcatraz, if we stayed afloat that long. Or B, that he hadn't found his engineer and might be having trouble starting up those 2 diesels with the twin screws and the 2-to-1 reduction gears, whatever they are.
Well, there she lies, matey.
Which one?
About 5 points to port. The gray one with a high freeboard. You get up on the quarter there, and the ladder's round on the landing side. I'll swing around and put you on it.
Hey, anybody home?
He's likely below messing with the diesels. You gotta rear back and holler, matey, like this. Ahoy, Sea Queen!
I like that.
That ought to raise him.
Who are you?
Captain Pasalti with a friend, requesting permission to come aboard, sir.
Who is he?
Spade, I want to talk to you, Hagen. Captain Salty.
What a dog, that clumsy lubber blasted me some scruples.
Where do you hit you?
Don't rightly know. Somewhere in the midships.
How do you run this thing? I've got to get you to shore.
Take the tiller. That's your 4th gear. It moves 4.5, but don't pull it back all the way. She'll die. The vacuum tanks.
You lie still. What are you looking for?
Me jumper pocket. Lifesaver in case you need it. I don't know more. Best wind it to put the wind into after quarter, matey. Remember that.
Okay, just take it easy, Captain. Hagen must have... Hagen must have seen he dropped Captain Salty and let it go at that. And then I got it. He was listening. Somebody was pulling out from shore in a rowboat. I didn't waste more time listening. I dug into Captain Salty's jumper pocket, fished out a waterproof pouch, took his seaman's papers out of it. He didn't need them anymore. Wrapped it around my gun. Then I took off some clothes and eased myself over the side. I I didn't swim for speed, but for distance, stopping now and then to make sure the man in the boat was still covering for me. Felt my way around the hull until I found the anchor rope. Just as I grabbed it, I heard him rest his oars.
Hagen?
Who's that?
Eddie Love.
What do you want?
I come after my sister.
Go on home, Eddie. She's sailing with me, and that's the way she wants it.
You're lying.
Wait a second. Come on out there, Dreamer.
What happened?
Your brother's down there in the boat. Talk to her.
Well, what am I going to say to him?
Talk to him.
All right. Eddie?
What's he done to you, sis?
I'm all right, Eddie. Everything's all right. Gorse and I decided, go on home, Eddie.
He's lying to you. He knows you framed him. If you sail out with him, you won't come back.
No, Eddie.
I'm coming aboard.
Oh, no, Gorse, please. Ah. Eddie. Eddie.
Drop it, Hagen. Drop the rifle.
I'll drop you, you lousy Seamus.
Sam, did he hurt you?
No, I'd been kicked in the stomach before. Takes a woman to kick you in the teeth.
I'm sorry.
I don't care what you did. What burns me up, you didn't do it right. I hate a bungler, especially a female bungler.
I'm a bungler. You're the one. It would have worked if you hadn't gone poking in the incinerator. I should have called the police. They would have known what to do with evidence like that. They've been wanting to... to get something on Gorse ever since repeal.
Listen, Angel, any flatfoot could have seen through that setup. Eve Adams was sitting in front of a mirror when she was maced. She saw the murderer enter the room. She got it in the back of the head. That means she trusted whoever walked up behind her. That also means the evidence of a struggle was faked.
But the nail polish on Gorse's shirt?
You put that nail polish on her fingers after she was dead, laid that trail to the incinerator with a pair of Gorse's shoes where any flatfoot was supposed to think he tried to destroy the incriminating shirt. But the dumbest thing you did was lying to me about that matching lipstick you dropped in my office. That means you looked guiltier than anybody because anybody could have planted that fake evidence.
I didn't kill her. I'm not a murderer.
Your brother might have got off easy. Crime of passion.
Please don't say that. I can't bear the thought that after everything I did, it's all come to nothing.
Here's a lifesaver. You may need it. Period. End of report.
Oh, Sam. Poor Captain Pasalti.
P is silent as in psalm. Go type that up.
All right, Sam.
One last one in the package.
And now listen to this. If you want the well-groomed look, listen. Recently, thousands of people from the Embarcadero to Sausalito to Oakland who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, How does wild root cream oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred wild root cream oil. Remember, non-alcoholic wild root cream oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of wild root cream oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the new handy tube. By the way, smart girls use wild root cream oil too, and mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. Get wild root cream oil, again and again, the choice of men and women and children too.
Oh, here it is, Sam, as far as I got.
What stopped you?
Oh, the last page of my notebook, owing to our shortages of supplies, Sam. But in a way, I'm glad. Because I couldn't go through it again. I mean, poor Captain Pasalti.
Yeah, please. Now, honest, I'll buy you a new notebook. A nice fat one. Would you like that?
Oh, yes, thanks. There's always something so final about the final pages of things. And when I think of all the risks you take...
To say nothing of my clients, I think I'll put a new sign on the door. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
Oh, but I haven't, Sam. Where there's a will, there's a wisp.
There's a what?
A wisp, Sam. Small amount.
Which reminds me. There's a couple of fingers left. Join me, huh? Just a wisp.
Oh, no, Sam, no. One of us has got to have a clear head.
Well, it'll be me.
My best. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The cast of The Apple of Eve caper featured Dave Sanchi as Detective Sam Spade. Ellie Babka was the scheming dream of love. And the villainous Gorse Hagen was voiced by Andre Dixon. Eddie Love was played by Walt Kovalik. Sue Gajinsky was the unfortunate Eve Adams. Captain Pasalti, the man never without a lifesaver, was Roger Morris. Resourceful Secretary Effie Perrine was Donna Amesmeyer. Sound effects were courtesy of Marty McNulty, who also helped to sing the praises of Wild Root Cream Oil. And the announcer was yours truly, Jay Summerfield. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back in just a moment with the baseball game from My Favorite Husband.